Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come.
Yeah, Thursday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday morning edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope you all had an absolutely amazing trading day yesterday. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor, click that subscribe button down below so that you get the updates as they come available. If you're not new to the channel, make sure you leave a comment, leave a like, leave something. The computers know that you are there and you are alive. And share this channel with a friend. Let somebody know what we're doing here at the DMC. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in. So the S&P this morning, we are down about 1 point. And we've actually fallen off. Yesterday I talked about our little supply area that we had up above, which was a fairly weak supply area, not an overly strong zone up in that range, and price, bounced into this area, and I say it was fairly weak. It was mostly weak because of the fact that we were basing inside of it, right? However, we definitely had a gap up yesterday, and so one of the things that I did, I took a screenshot of this area here, which was a little bit of a price magnet. So price came down into there and then popped right back up into the supply area, and now it's just not doing a whole lot. There's very little movement coming out of this thing. So I need to remove this level as it currently stands, because while that level, and we had talked yesterday about the fact that it was lower probability, just simply the fact that we were in an upward trend, got a nice little move out of that level and then came down into the opposing fair price zone. But now what am I looking at? Well, now we're kind of chopping along sideways a bit. And remember that any short is lower probability, right? So any short is lower probability just due to the fact that our big picture is still going up. This is not a fresh level. It's a retest of a prior level to the left. Oh, I guess technically it's fresh. It's not what we would consider a top grade level, because it's not its own accumulation of orders. It's we want top performing trades. For those of you guys that are subscribers of TradersArmy.com, one of the things that we do is we score our trades using a top performing trade method, and this one wouldn't be a true top performing trade, although its structure of the level is still pretty sound. So if you wanted to consider a short off of this high, I think there's ample opportunity to do that. You could theoretically even take a short below today's low. However, I think that might set up for a little bit of a bear trap area, going forward. So when I look at this, what I want to do today is not force anything. And I think today is a great day to not force anything. We may get a little bit of a move out of this area, and if we do, great. But what I see is that we may have a little bit of chop heading in for a large portion of today, and that chop that we have is really not something that I want to try to fight against. So maybe some decent opportunities up in here, depending on how we arrive up to that region. I don't love this time of the day, so I would leave this one be at the moment, because I'm not in love with that area. Now, any shorts would be counter trend. It would be against the big picture, and I don't like to trade against the big picture. The big picture is definitely in a bullish environment. But we definitely are seeing, and I always tend to go back to this, we're definitely seeing a little bit of a waning period of momentum, right? So if I throw my momentum on here, you'll see that even though I have higher swing highs, I've got lower swing highs in my momentum. So just keep those keep that in mind, that we are definitely in an upward trend, and longs have lower probability, but we could continue to rally up from here. So if you really want to look at something, if we get some basing somewhere up in here, then maybe you could take a breakout off of a basing area. In the NASDAQ, we are seeing very similar price actions as well. Not a whole lot of chop. There's a lot of chop happening at the moment. Now, we do have a little bit of a price magnet area down in here that I think I'm going to just leave this in play. Nothing really to add on that one. Crude oil, we got a little bit of a rollover in crude. I'm not looking to try to go against a crude, looking at crude on a 4-hour chart, we got a really strong upward move. I'm not trying to short against this thing when the markets are that strong, right? I'm looking for pullbacks to quality areas of demand. Problem is, we're not getting them. We're not getting pullbacks to quality areas of demand, and so it's hard to get in. And so this is why you've got to be able to take breakouts when they present themselves. So we haven't gotten anything that screams a breakout yet. Short of this breakout that we had here in crude oil, sometime last week, which a lot of people caught that move. I don't really have one up here that I'm in love with, so I'm going to just let this one be as well, because I don't want to try to take a short. I would need to see a little bit of basing in here and then take a breakout on that kind of an area. Until then, I'm going to leave my demand areas down below. In gold, very similar price action in gold. I will say gold sets up better for a breakdown than some of the other markets. When I look at the 4-hour chart in gold, we are still doing a whole lot of this, right? So gold definitely still sets up for a bit of a breakdown. I think a breakdown, but technically these could break out either direction. So just keep an eye on this one as well. So I'd love to tell you, looking at our 4 major markets, right? The S&P, the NASDAQ, gold, and crude. Today might be a really good day to walk the dog. Today might be a really good day to visit your family. Today might be a really good day to learn how to bake a lemon meringue pie. But today may not be the best day to force trades. Now, I'm sure we're going to have plenty of opportunities to present themselves later in the day. But looking at these 4 markets here, notice my I guess the word would be educational experience would tell you that it's prudence is the better part of valor in a market like that. So just keep that in mind. Looking at the ZN trade in our bond market, our 10-year note. So the 10-year note, we are coming up to what could be a decent little level right in here. I don't love the time of the day. This is retracing back to our breakout, and we're retracing to our speed candle, right? Our speed candles where we're bringing price back to. So keep an eye on that speed candle as potential for a retracement area. Price coming back into that range. I think you're better off on a short than you are on a long. If I move to the daily chart, we see that our daily is really a nice pullback. And we're sitting in an area that would be considered demand, but we've hit it, and we've been in there for 3 days. So it lowers the probability of it working. The Aussie, we just keep coming close to this level and unable to get into the trade. And once again, if I go to a 4-hour of the Aussie, we are in a sideways price action, right? Very much a sideways price action, much lower. A lot less chances to get in, but I'm going to change this up here to a confirmation style entry only because we've come close to it a couple times and been unable to get in. Unable to get into the zone. In the euro, so hopefully you're able to nag that euro trade. It came in, just gave us a nice touch into the level, and we got a nice little move away. So if you did grab the euro trade, I would take your stop and move it to just above this pivot right here, 1316. So move it to 1.1316, somewhere in that range, just to lock in, close to a 1-to-1 reward to risk, and keep you, gives you still plenty of wiggle room if price comes back up against you. But that would be our zone in the euro. Leave me a comment down below if you're able to catch that one in the euro. I think ultimately we've got a price target down here, and we could see price make it all the way to that range on a reversal. And really, this is a fairly wide level down here that we're looking at in that one. Canadian dollar. In the Canadian dollar, I'm looking for basing in front of this level. Remember, I have to have basing in front of the level, and then my stop has to go above the pivot. So we need basing in front of that zone before I'm willing to go short in that zone. If we don't base in front of that level, it's not going to follow my breakout rules. I do have a little reversal trade up here on this little baby wick over wick area right in there. And that wick over wick area could be a good opportunity for to jump in on a potential short in there. Also the breakdown as well. Last but certainly not least, our great British pound, Japanese yen. looking at what they plan on doing for the day. The Great British Pound Trade working its way very well. For those of you that are in that one, we've had a nice little run away from the level. I would take your stop, move it to break even at this point at the very least if you haven't already. I mean, it did start to make a nice move out of the zone yesterday morning. Leave me a comment in the section if you're able to get it. So I'm going to remove this line going forward, and I'm going to add this wick over wick demand area down below, which corresponds really well with where the euro demand area we found was also. Japanese yen, we're still in between our levels, and so price can break out one way or the other. Bigger picture would tell me the price would break out to the downside. When I look at the 4-hour chart, we are we're poised more for a downward move, and knowing that this area here is still around. This is area here that we gapped through prior, so I just wanted to leave it in place just in case something happens there. I don't expect a great reversal there, but I want to just leave it and see what happens with price in that region. So hope you guys all have an amazing trading day. If there's anything I can do for you, please send me an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Until tomorrow, everyone, I will talk to you soon.